Hey everybody, it's time for that monthly Q&A that I promised. Was it? Yeah, so last month when I hit 50,000 subscribers I announced it. I actually announced the idea before and 91% out of 3,300 people voted yes, do it. So here we are with our monthly Q&A, first one. The first one ever on my channel. Not the first Q&A ever, I've done them before, they're abysmal. But the first monthly Q&A in this series. So just a little bit of the backdrop, if you will. This series will be once a month, hence the word monthly. And in order to get into the next episode, if you will, into the next month's Q&A, you need to ask your questions in the comment section of this video. Saves you from asking them all over the place, and it just makes it easier for me. I love making it easy for myself. We've got quite a few questions to go through for this first one. Could be quite a long sitting, alright? But it'll be fun, I promise. I was trying to figure out what to name this series. I think we just settled with Fishy's monthly Q&A. I know it's very boring, but the alternative was a sit down with Fishy. It was presented by my friend Ollie. If you don't know who that is,
don't fuck with me.
now you do. So that was the alternative, a sit down with Fishy. I think everybody concluded, being every part of my conscience concluded, that sounds like a therapy session with a psychopath. So instead, we're going to go with Fishy's monthly Q&A, because the last thing you want is to go in thinking, is this therapy? We've got some questions to get into. We've got quite a lengthy video ahead of us. Shall we just get into it? It is what you're here for, so away we go. I'm gonna have to think of a better way to do these transitions, but that was just really spontaneous. So our first question is, we all know the question that needs answering. Who is better, Sabizi or Tiny Plays? I'm gonna say Jamie Derbyshire. Only people who actually know me will probably get that. Fishy, do you have a thick goth girlfriend? Please answer Fizhy. Senpai man tyrant man. I'm in a relationship with one thing and one thing only. I'm so socially deprived. So here is a question. If we get a Bayek sequel, do you think he should go to Greece or Italy or Arabia or something? Or should he stay in Egypt but with a different part of Egypt? Or perhaps all the places and origins but with a lot more added on? No, I think they need to go outside of Egypt with a Bayek sequel. Either to Greece, Italy like Rome and places like that, and surrounding areas. And maybe the Levant and the Holy Land at the time. You never know. I'm not really too specific on my answer to this question. I'm not particularly fussed. As long as it's a Bayek sequel and it's done well. I don't care if it's in Rome, Greece, Arabia, whatever, you know. I'm down for it as long as it's a Bayek sequel and it's got a promising prospect to it. Where did the name Fishy come from? So to start off with, my channel name was my actual name. And then I kind of grew a mental attachment to fish. Like it became a word that would just be my go-to word. I'd just proclaimed to be a fish in the middle of nowhere. It was a dark time, so I changed my channel name to Fishy, and then because I like the word yarp, I gave the channel a surname and it was Yarpster. And from there, what happened was, I thought to myself, this is a bit long, so I shortened it to just Fishy. At this point it was Fishy with an S. A channel much bigger than me at the time came along and changed their name to Fishy. So I did the only thing that I thought I could do, which was change the S to a Z, and suddenly it's Fizhy. So that's where the name Fishy came from, and that's how we got it, alright? Would you rather be able to play Ubisoft games only, or every game besides Ubisoft games? This is an easy answer. I'd choose every game besides Ubisoft games. I do like my Ubisoft games, there are some really good ones going, but there are so many more outside of Ubisoft than there are within it. So I'd have to go with every game besides Ubisoft games, because that way I'm not playing with my sanity. Fishy, can you maybe tell me what mic you're using? It's a Blue Yeti. Before I was using a Rode NT, and for a little while in between the Rode NT and the Yeti, I was using a Blue Snowball. I do have, so for now it's a Blue Yeti, but I don't know, might have to change it up again at some point. What would you do if you hit 70 million subscribers overnight and would be the biggest YouTuber? What would you do? What would your reaction be if that would happen? I don't think I'd be able to tell you how I'd react to that unless it actually happened. And it won't, will it? So, unfortunately, I can't really answer that. What new games are you planning on playing? I couldn't say. Yeah, I'm a by the year kind of guy. I am looking forward to Spider-Man PS4. That looks like great fun. I guess Kingdom Hearts 3. I recently got into Kingdom Hearts. Not necessarily on the channel, that one though. As for the rest of it, I really couldn't say. There are so many things coming out. I don't really pay attention that much, but when something comes out that takes my fancy, I'll just play it and we'll see what happens. You know, I'm not much of a planner though, obviously. What do you think would be if AC Origins was the first game instead of the classic Assassin's Creed? Would it garner praise or would it be thrashed in the gaming community? I mean, I couldn't tell you what would happen in that alternate universe. You know, I reckon it would probably be praised for some things and thrashed for others. But I suppose you mean it would probably be the first game in the sense that it was the first game in 2007, back with that technology and that story writing and those things. Yeah, I reckon it would probably have been thrashed, but I couldn't really say. Could have gone really well, actually. But again, that's an alternate universe. That'll never happen. So who the fuck cares? Are you a dog? I wish. What was your first game console? PlayStation 1. Do you think that Ubisoft should make another game about Arno and how he will avenge his father? No, I think that boat has completely sailed. What was your first movie that you watched, or what was your favourite movie? I think that's trying to ask. They've given me the option to choose the question out of the two. I can't answer the first part because I can't remember that far back. What was my favourite movie? Favourite movie ever? Ooh. It's kind of a tough one. There are so many good films that I've seen. I really, really, really love Star Wars, evidently. So probably The Empire Strikes Back. Here's a question. What inspired you to do YouTube? Boredom. How are you, Long-Eared Fox, and Lasers connected? Well, stumbled upon James a few years back when he was in the low thousands in subscribers, and I would hop onto his stream chat with a load of alts and troll it. As for George, well, he's James's brother, so sort of commented a lot on James and maybe a little bit of George's content. The rest is history, and here we are. What is your educational background? I feel as if me not knowing how to answer this question sort of sums it up. Will you make an updated video on ranked AC protagonists from worst to best? A lot of people have been asking for this. I'm still not sure. I want to do it, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I really do. You know what I mean? I probably will do it at some point, just don't know when. But we need to get Bayek on that list. Can I have your jacket? Which one? Fishy, if you were stuck in a video game world, not as the protagonist, which would you rather be stuck in? A. Far Cry 5, B. Bloodborne, C. Fable 3, or D. GTA 5? Well, the world of GTA would just be fucked, and I don't like GTA anyway, so no. The world of Bloodborne is just outright depressing. The world of Far Cry 5 would just be full of fanatic Christians and all other kinds of undesirables. Sort of cut that one off the list. And the world of Fable 3 would just be a self-aware mess. But at the same time, it would probably be the one that I'd find my sadistic self to be most at ease. So, Fable 3 universe. What assassin would you compare yourself to and why? Literally none of them. Swag 2. Will it happen? No. Who is your least favourite Assassin's Creed character? Connor. Whereabouts in England do you live? I won't say. Here's my question. Could you please sub to my channel? Jamie, fuck off. Do you like tuna fish? Yeah, tasty. Have you played any horror games? Well, I'm not really into horror, so not really very many. I mean, I gave the Outlast 2 demo a try, and I also played a little bit of Alien Isolation, but beyond that, not much. Not enough to remember anyway. Do you have a dog? If so, what breed? I do have a dog, and he is a Bernese mountain dog. How old are you, and are you British?
I am 4 years old, and I don't know what British means.
What would you want for the next Assassin's Creed game? I would want a Bayek sequel. I am right there with you. Do you have an inverted nipple? A what? When in doubt, Google is your friend. Inverted nipple. Inverted nipple is a condition in which the nipple is pulled inward into the breast instead of pointing outward. This condition can also be called nipple inversion, nipple retraction, or invaginated nipple, although some observers distinguish these two variations. What does it look like? What the fuck? When will you let us out the basement? Never. You're never getting out of that basement. Give up on it, Joe. Give up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Rogue Remaster? As a remaster, about 2. How does one recover from depression? You tell me. Just for everybody's peace of mind, this is plastic. It's fake. It's just a silly prop. On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you that you wasted your money on the Rogue Remaster? Quite happy, considering that the content I made covering it made back more money than I spent on the game in the first place. What's your favourite animal and why? Well, I'm going to be boring and say dogs, because they're fucking stupid. Do you think Ubisoft should carry on making AC games every year or every 2 years, and why? I think they should probably get an extra year in there and make it every 3 years. The longer the wait, supposedly, the more time they'll have to put in their game. And the more time they put in their game, ideally the better it'll get. So, 3 years, if not 4. I'm really not fussed. But I feel as if a 1 year gap between games is not enough time. 2 years pushing it at this point, so every 3 years would be pretty good. Do you know where Estonia is? Not off the top of my head. Fishy, did you expect you would have more subscribers by this time or less? I mean, I never expected that I'd get very far with YouTube in the first place, so I guess less. How's your GCSEs going? Dunno. Haven't looked back since I finished them. Are you more into tits or ass? Haven't found out yet, mate. What made you start playing Assassin's Creed? It's not a what but a who, and that who was my dad. Which is worse, the B movie or the Emoji movie? Who the fuck cares? If we were to get another Assassin's Creed movie, what would you want from it? Like, what would you want it to be about? I want it to not exist. How much do you earn from YouTube? I'm not even sure I'm allowed to tell you. Why do you stream your PC's games on YouTube? Because I want to, and I can. What would you prefer as a pet? A turtle without a shell, or a bird without wings? Well, a turtle without a shell would just look weird, curl up in a ball and cry every now and then. But a bird without wings, because birds instinctively know how to fly, and all that stuff, would still try to fly regardless. So it would just be funny watching it get about the house trying to jump off of things and fly. So I guess I'm going to answer with a bird without wings. I'm really messed up. Why do you wear that black thing under your watch? It's because my wrist isn't that big. Because, you know, like the black thing here, it's just to keep the watch on because my wrist is a weird funny size where one link it'll be too loose, if I take out the next one it'll be too tight, and for me it needs to be just right, otherwise I'll have a mental breakdown. Do you think an AC1 remake, not a shit port like Rogue, for which I'll stick with the 360 version, is a possibility for the near future? Fall this year or 2020, assuming a new AC gets a 2019 release? I don't think Assassin's Creed 1 will ever get a remake. I think there is wishful thinking and then there's outright naivete. Think about it. If Assassin's Creed 1 got a remake, I don't think it would sell nearly as well as most people think it might. It wouldn't. So it would almost be a pointless investment from Ubisoft because they wouldn't make that money back, because investing into a AAA game costs about as much, if not more, than creating a blockbuster film. That is a lot of money, and I don't think they're going to put that into a remake of a game they've already done. They might remaster it to a good standard at some point, that's always on the table, but there is no way that they will ever remake it. I could be wrong, don't think I am. Are you ever disappointed in the IQ of some of your viewers? Not usually. I mean, sometimes it gets annoying when somebody completely misses the mark of a video I make and they try to counter my points without fully evaluating the points I've made and wind up playing into my hand more than anything. That can get quite frustrating because you need to get them to see that they've fucked themselves up. But I'm never disappointed in their IQs because I don't know them. Whether or not it's low is none of my business. As for the people who are completely brain dead and just comment shitposty stuff, it can be quite disappointing when all your comments will just be that, but I'm never disappointed in the IQ. Fishy, do you pronounce it data or data? I hope that answered your question. But there you go, everybody. Those are the questions for this month's episode of the monthly Q&A. Next month we'll have another episode out, so if you want to ask your questions, use the comment section here. Don't be shitposting and things like that. Use it wisely, ask a few questions, and I'll answer them, you know, in the next episode in a month's time. Obviously you're still allowed to shitpost, I just would prefer it if you actually asked somewhat intelligent questions. Regardless, thank you all for coming along to this video, hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share, ask your questions like I said, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.